Okay, quick post-workout video, how to train, how to eat. We're going on how to eat today. Let me first introduce my marketing slash production manager. Take a bow.
Hello.
Camera lady. Haircut is booked in for tonight. Okay, so how to eat. I'm going to go into probably my number one go-to snack slash food. Cocoa, I don't want to advertise, but however you pronounce it. Cocoa powder. So it's kind of like the hot chocolate stuff, but without all the sugar. So what you might cook in. As I say, probably my number one go-to food. I sometimes almost feel embarrassed. I sound like a quack when you start listing all the benefits it does. But I'll dive in. I'm going to start with its... let me start with weight loss really. First thing to say is the most thermic foods, basically that means the food that take the most energy to digest, so are better for weight loss across the board, just as a general, and those two foods are protein and fibre. Fibre require the most energy to digest, so they're classed as the most thermic food. So cacao has 22 grams of protein in it, which is not that, it's not actually that dissimilar to meat. So oftentimes you think you need to get your protein sources from a meat base, and you don't get much protein from plant-based sources. But this just proves that there's nothing wrong with getting your protein from meat-based sources necessarily. There's other minerals and other things that can come with that if that's how you want to go. But you can get excellent protein from plant-based sources like particularly cacao. And then, as I said, it's got 27 grams of fibre, which is huge. Both of these numbers are really big. This is on a percentage out of 100. And all the other carbohydrates that are in it are, there's no sugars in it because it's very bitter, you'll know with cacao. And it's got 21 grams of fat. So it's almost a perfect kind of macronutrient breakdown of foods. And then if we look into the micronutrients, sort of the little things that go into the foods, there's lots, particularly on the mineral side. I'm not going to go into loads, but probably one that I hold highest is magnesium. And the minerals that you want to get that are good for you, that are hard to, the reason I bang on about magnesium for cacao is it's hard to get out of foods. It's a difficult food to get your daily intake without supplementation, but I think one cup holds about 119% of your recommended daily allowance with magnesium, and magnesium's really good. I mean, particularly around things like anxiety. It's about sort of relaxation. It does many functions in the body, but it's a really important mineral not to be deficient in. So that's just the overview of it. But then added to that, it is packed full of polyphenols, which are your plant-based antioxidants. And what they tend to do across the board, they are, particularly in this case, they are good at protection against free radicals, which are cells that are sort of deformed or morphed or go off in their own world, which can lead to cancers. And polyphenols in general, and cacao ones in particular, have got some good results against free radicals. So, but its big polyphenol is flavonols. So flavonols, what they are good for, they're helpful in the body to produce nitric oxide. And nitric oxide, something that's why you hear a lot of people promote nose breathing. It's a magical component of the body. Basically, its big benefit for the body is it's like it relaxes the circulatory system. So like your vascular system, arteries, veins. You don't want them to be tight and rigid. So lots of illnesses around build-up of plaque in arteries and things like that is often wrongly attributed to saturated fats. It's actually to do with stiff arteries and inflammation and build-up of plaque around those. So you definitely don't want stiff and hard arteries. You want them to be relaxed, and that helps with things like blood flow and circulation. So linked to that, and these are some of the benefits cacao has got sort of proven test results against, not just nitric oxide actually, cacao itself. And again, it sounds almost warped, but it's got good results against blood pressure. That stands to reason, particularly if you've got high blood pressure. It's got good evidence-based research against preventing heart attacks and strokes. Again, that's all linked to the circulatory system, so that makes sense. Slightly away from that, it's got good results against your resting blood glucose levels. So that's to do with pre-diabetes, diabetes. If you have a particularly strong reaction to glucose, like you find visceral fat around the belly, you find it hard to lose, or for you're pre-diabetic, you don't deal with insulin very well, you want to have a low blood glucose level. And cacao's got good results against that. It's got good results against cholesterol, so that in terms of your HDL LDL ratio, which is your so-called good cholesterol versus your bad cholesterol, the ratio there is what's important, and it's got very good results against that. It's also good for brain preservation because it helps blood pass the blood-brain barrier. And overall, what it's helpful for and it's got good results against is inflammation. Nitric oxide and cacao. Added to that, away from the polyphenols now, it's also packed full of theobromine. And theobromine is kind of like what nitric oxide is for the circulatory system. Theobromine is that for the cardiac system. So the lungs, capillaries, breathing, respiratory stuff. So again, it relaxes that. So people with respiratory issues, asthma, etc. That's theobromine is very helpful for that. And that's without going into things like tryptophan, serotonin, which is good for moods, and some quite good results against that. So all that is packed into cacao. Now, just to give you the balance, some of the negatives that you could find to it, it's not massively hydrating. So sometimes it's thought of as a diuretic, which generally means you excrete more than you consume. Now, it's probably about a net balance because you know it's got quite a lot of water in it anyway, but it's not massively hydrating. And all foods that are derived anything near like volcanoes, that sometimes cacao is, there's always a small chance, and this is with lots of foods, of toxins. So there's one particularly called cadmium, which is, again, it's not particularly prevalent in cacao, but it's something to be aware of. I usually like to take mine with something like spirulina or an algae, which binds heavy metals to it. That's another video. But now, just to end off, it is of course very bitter, so it's tempting to put loads of sugar in it. You got to then find your healthy sweetener alternative. I use stevia, there's other ones, and that'll save for another video, which I'll touch on good sweeteners and maybe the dangers with sugar. Okay, that's it for now, thank you.